week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Margarita, and she's from Azamara Cruises. I've had the privilege to meet with her twice before, so if you want to go back and look at those episodes, it's episode number 11 and 36, but do come back to this one because we've got some really exciting stuff to share with you. So over to you.
Thanks so much, Kathleen. So, yeah, I've been with Azamara now for just over 6 months. It has been a bit of a roller coaster ride, as I'm sure you are well aware. But for those watching right now, if you look at one of the past episodes, we would have talked about the sale of Azamara to the Sycamore Partners. We've had to suspend cruises, and we have announced that we are going back to sales. So that is what we are focusing on today. And we are starting in August to this beautiful destination of Greece. So I know a lot of people are asking me questions about how are we making sure that we are returning to sail safely. And so I just want to make sure that everybody is aware that we do have some fantastic protocols in place. Our travel agent partners can access these on our website. But just so that you know, we are making sure that they are constantly updated. So Kathleen is well aware of the processes. And it is called our Explore Well at Sea program. So it comprises of 74 different recommendations over 5 different variables. And the primary one, of course, is that we are one of the cruise lines that require vaccinations in order to get on board. All of our crew are vaccinated. All of our guests will be vaccinated. We will be testing the crew as well as guests. We will be doing onboard screening while you are on the ship. There will be symptom reporting. We have medical evaluations before getting on the ship. We have consistently done very, very well with our cleaning protocols. The only difference now is that we are using medical grade cleaning standards. So rest assured that the crew have been properly trained on exactly what the touch points are that we need to focus on. We'll be doing some things a little bit differently. We will continue to have the buffet services, but you won't be serving yourself. So we will have the crew. So we're limiting those touch points. We will have sanitation stations through all the venues, all of the restaurants and bars and so on. And we will require masks to be worn in the theater when you're walking through the hallways. But as soon as you're sitting and having a drink or eating, then of course masks are not required. They won't be required outdoors or in the pool area. So there will be certain amounts of freedom and so on there. Our air filtration program, like our HVAC will be doing 100% fresh filtered air throughout the staterooms as well as the public areas. And we were educated on it, but to be honestly, it's all very technical, copper wiring, blah, blah, blah. So all I know is that it will be fresh air filtered.
Yes.
And then the medical, enhanced medical people on board. We will have multi-level response plans in place. And that means that if anybody does test positive for COVID while they are on board, we have isolation, medication, evacuation, and repatriation all on our protocol system. So completely, I am very, very confident that we are returning to waters when the time is right, as we say, and not too soon. So really, really happy that we are able to do that. If, however, you have booked with us and aren't quite comfortable or haven't been properly vaccinated, don't forget we do have our Cruise with Confidence program. It has been extended to the end of this month, and that allows you to book and get the best price. But if you need to, you can cancel up to 48 hours prior to departure. So that was recently extended from the end of May to the end of July. And so don't forget that you have that ability as well. So book now. We were just talking before we hit record about the limited amount of availability. You know, if you're looking for that outside balcony, stateroom, or suite,
Mhm.
Yeah, it's going to
Good
be
luck.
tough.
Yeah. Oh my
But
goodness.
certainly 2022, 2023 is
Mhm.
opening up for sale in the next 2 weeks. So think ahead, book early,
Yep.
get
I
the
always,
best price.
I've always told my clients, let's book as soon as availability opens. That way you can get the best stateroom and the best price because they're typically as soon as they open the best of both. But now more than ever do we need to do that because it is just it's mind-boggling how fast they're selling out and how all of the really good rooms that you would want to stay on. I mean, if you're on a long voyage, you want that balcony room. You want to be able to sit outside, and they're just gone in a flash. It's
I,
incredible. Yeah.
yeah, and as I say, I have been looking, and the availability is definitely limited. Now,
Mhm.
the good news is that we will be opening some new itineraries in the next 2 weeks, due to our current suspension or
Mhm.
recent suspensions. But so that will open up. We will probably be having some different itineraries, things that aren't typical for Azamara. So you might see us in the Caribbean this winter,
Okay.
um, versus South America. The
Mhm.
Canary Islands
Wow,
will be
beautiful
open up as
destination.
well.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yes.
lots of information to come.
Mhm.
We haven't been told all of the details,
Yeah.
but we're definitely working hard on
The one
getting
thing I
information.
love about your cruise line is how you start and end in a different port. So you can do a back to back and not repeat the same itinerary that you get on other lines. So I think it's fabulous because you could extend, a 7 day, 14 day into a much longer sailing and
Make
not
that
repeat.
2020, 2021, and 2022 vacation all at the same
That's
time.
right. Yeah, just make up
Yeah,
for lost time. Absolutely. I just love that
and
about your cruise line. Yeah.
we're seeing a lot of that, like an awful lot of that. So
Mhm.
yeah, and it changes like a 7 day to a 17 day
Yes.
vacation, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's why you want to book early to make sure that you're not moving rooms in between.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be a pain.
yeah. So, um, so who is a typical Azamara client? We do cater towards the baby boomers.
Mhm.
Target is basically between 55 and 64. Where people who are really travelers, not so much tourists, right?
Right.
So they want
Mhm.
to dive into the culture, they want to taste the cuisine, they want to explore. And
Mhm.
I love our hashtag explore further. We do cater to mainly North American clientele. We
Mhm.
also have a lot of guests on board who are from the UK or from Australia. And what that really translates to for us Canadians is that it is English speaking.
Mhm.
So a lot of friendships are developed because you are all talking the same language, you have the same
Mhm.
interests, and you find these amazing friendships that develop as a result. The household income is around 100,000
Mhm.
annual income. So we are sort of a premium cruise line, but because of that, you will find that we do have more to offer than some of the mass markets. The
Mhm.
primary thing I think that is most important about Azamara is the size of our ship. So we've got 4 ships that are 30,000 tons,
Mhm.
and that means it's an intimate environment on board. It's better than traveling with 4,000 other people.
Right.
So you are able to get to know the crew, you are
Mhm.
able to get to know the other guests. And the crew to staff ratio is one crew member for every 1.7 staff or guests on board.
Yeah,
So
fabulous. That's great.
attention to detail.
Mhm.
So they really do know what you like. And I love the small ship mentality when you get on board. And after day 2, they're going, "Oh, your cappuccino. I didn't order cappuccino." No, but I've noticed that you've ordered it at the end of every meal. Like it's
Mhm.
those sorts of things that they pick up on that you really do start to
Yeah.
take for granted after a week. But it is a really nice thing, and you would miss it if you didn't have it.
Right.
We are able to get closer to the
Mhm.
destination than the other bigger ships, right? So, for instance, when we go into Sevilla, we go right up the Guadalquivir River and we dock right in the heart of Sevilla. We're there overnight, so you see that beautiful transition from day to night. We are destination immersive. So we like to, I love the expression, we're connecting people to people, people with cultures, and people with themselves. So just learning about different cultures and, as I say, tasting those flavors really does give you an appreciation for what you have when you come back home as well.
Mhm.
And it just expands your mind.
Yeah.
We have late night stays. So anything after 8 p.m. is considered a late night. We have a number of overnight stays. And so 50% of our ports of call feature either a late night or an overnight stay. And then we've got these fantastic country intensive voyages, like when we go back to sailing, we're in Greece and we touch on different points of Greece, and we're only in Greece and maybe touch on Turkey, but it is really that immersive feeling that you have. And don't forget that Azamara is more inclusive. So we include gratuities, we include all your food and beverages including wine, imported beer, and liquor as well. So if you like those mixed cocktails, then you would appreciate that. We've got cultural events like our White Night events. We have we're calling it a destination celebration, where we bring local talent on board the ship to really immerse you into the culture that we are in. And if we can't get you as close to the heart of this destination as we'd like to by coming into the port, we do offer a shuttle service. So those sorts of things really do make it a lot more convenient when you are traveling.
Those small little touches make such a fabulous trip.
It really does. And unfortunately, it's once you have done that, you don't really want to go back to not having those inclusions, right? You don't want to have to sign for every drink. You don't want to have to worry about putting cash in an envelope at the end of the cruise, like all of those sorts of fantastic things. Our crew have been actually it's so exciting, because if you ever follow us on Facebook, you can see the crew coming back to Glasgow to the ship, and they're just so happy to be home, right? They just love the idea that they are back. So, we've got a fantastic crew made up of our captains who are incredibly sociable, like to sit and have a coffee with our guests. The hotel and restaurant staff, and of course our entertainment crew are just fantastic. So we cater from over 50 different countries. So when we talk about our healthy return to service, we are ensuring that our crew are vaccinated when they get on board the ship. So because you don't know what countries have vaccines that are everybody has different standards, right? So basically they have been told to return to the ship, where they will be doing their isolation, and then they will be doing screening, and then they are making sure that they are all vaccinated when they get there. So it is a real sort of family ambiance that you have when you get on board, and that's why often you will hear the crew saying welcome home to guests that have been repeat guests. Our itineraries, 2022, 2023, we've got over 70 countries, 300 late night stays, 170 overnight stays. So we really are quite happy with the length of time that we stay in the ports and the diversity of the stays. As I said, we do country intensive voyages. So, if you're looking at a specific itinerary, I like to say that we are a land-based vacation company that has a floating boutique hotel. So if you're looking to explore Italy or Ireland, we are a great alternative. We also have country intensive voyages to Iceland, Greece, Norway. Of course, in 2023 2022 actually, we'll be going into South Africa, 2023, Japan, and different Asian ports as well. This I just had it as an example. You will see the map in the top right-hand corner. There is this town of Cadiz on the coastline of Spain. That is where a lot of the bigger ships will dock. We actually, let's see if my mouse works here. We actually go up the river and dock right in the heart of Sevilla.
Yes.
Same thing when we go into Bordeaux, we go up the Gendron River. When we go into St. Petersburg, we go up the Neva River. So we do get a little, it's kind of interesting. I've talked to a couple of the crew members who are on, and they said, there's not a lot of room on either side of those rivers. So bigger ships just simply cannot get there.
That's great.
So we are going back to Greece. So let's talk about these itineraries. So the Azamara Quest is starting on August 28th, 2021 with 7-night Greece intensive sailings and they're round trip Athens. So there are 6 new itineraries. We launched these, I believe it was in May. We announced that we were going back to sail. The only one of these voyages that really sort of stands out is the October 2nd, which begins in Athens and ends in Rome. But to give you an example, these are what the itineraries, they vary slightly, but they
Mhm.
are mostly hitting the same ports. But we've got a nice 10 p.m. departure from Rhodes. We have a 10 p.m. departure from Santorini. So you're able to not rush going back from Fira down to the port. You can
Mhm.
sit and have a cocktail while you watch the sunset. And there's no better place in the world to see a sunset than Santorini. So love this itinerary. And then the October 2nd sailing leaves from Athens and goes to Rome. And so spends a couple of nights in Greece, and then a day at sea, and then Sorrento and the Amalfi Coast. So, I know, we're so excited.
Amazing. I
So,
love how there's only one sea day, so you really get to explore the destinations. That's fabulous.
and the
Yeah.
length of
Look at all
time
the
that
10
we are,
o'clocks. Yeah. One,
yeah,
two, three 10 o'clocks.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
10 p.m. stays. Awesome.
yeah. And then this was just recently announced that our BOGO 60, so it's book the first passenger and the second is 60% off. And you kind of joke about, well, which one of us is going to be the 60% off? And bottom line is it's 30% off, but
Okay. Yes.
for both.
Mhm.
And that has been extended to August. So yay, lots of opportunity to save. And that is on top of our already included gratuities, select beverages, and exclusive cultural events. So
Yeah, and
great
this demo will
opportunity.
be out when you release that new schedule in a couple weeks as well. So that's fabulous.
So we really, this would be the time to take advantage
Mhm.
of those savings for sure. The other thing is our fourth little baby, the Azamara Onward. We announced on June 2nd that it is ready for sale. We have got a great promotion on, and the inaugural sailing happens in May 2nd of
Mhm.
2022. It will be leaving from Monte Carlo, overnighting in Livorno, which is essentially the gateway to Florence. You can go and see Pisa one day, go and see Florence the following day because we overnight there.
Mhm.
Then we go all the way around the boot, as I say, and we overnight again in Venice, which is the most romantic city in the
Mhm.
world. And for a limited time, we have this awesome promotion, and it is in addition to our BOGO 60, we
Mhm.
have the Experience More package. Now, this must be booked by the 16th of July, so
Mhm.
we are sort of running out of time, but it does include the second guest is 60% off, plus you get a $300 shore excursion on board credit, unlimited Wi-Fi for one device, and the
Mhm.
premium beverage package for two, which means you can go to the bar and order those top shelf beverages that normally you would have to pay a surcharge for. So that Experience More package, as I say,
Mhm.
is available until the 16th of July. So
Fabulous. Wow, that's great. That's a really nice incentive for booking on that new ship.
absolutely. And again, we were talking about things sort of selling out. The May 2nd voyage
Mhm.
is getting pretty tight right now. So that's why we want to talk about that. So if
Mhm.
anybody is thinking about it, they know not to wait,
Yeah.
because that honestly, that I think a lot of people love the hype of the inaugural sale.
Mhm.
The itinerary is fantastic,
It is.
and but there is more availability in the marketplace because we have just increased our availability by 33% with the launch of this new ship.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so on
Beautiful.
that note, leaving
Mhm.
you with a beautiful picture of Greece again, because I'm just so excited that we are returning to sail. We
Mhm.
are returning at a great time where We know it is safe to do so. We've got the full support of the Greek government, and they really are looking forward to welcoming our guests.
Amazing. That is just gorgeous. And like you said, there's no reason not to book with that 48-hour, the availability to be able to cancel or to change your dates
Cruise
if
with
needed.
confidence. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, and then you get the new ship and all the extra promos too. So that's just fabulous. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all that. I greatly appreciate you taking the time and putting this all together. And I hope everybody has a great week. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for watching this week's cruise chat with Azamara Cruises. It was just fabulous to see a couple of their itineraries that they have in Greece, to see their healthy return to sailing, and also their new ship that's coming out. And what a great promotion to have 60% off your second guest, which is 30% off both. Let's just be honest about that. And also all the great other promotions that you've got with the shipboard credit and the upgraded beverages. It's just amazing to see some of those promotions that you can include together, because that doesn't always happen. If you want any information on this or any of the other cruise lines that I've met on any of our past episodes on our cruise chat series, feel free to reach out to me at info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. If you have any questions or any cruise lines that you'd like me to interview and to see, be sure to go to our Facebook page or Instagram and just put a post there, and I will definitely include your questions or add a new cruise line to the rotation as well. If you're listening to this on our Cruising the Waves podcast, thank you so much. If you'd like to tune in and see some of the videos, head on over to our YouTube channel, Plenty of Sunshine Travel on YouTube. And alternatively, if you're interested in listening to these episodes on the go, they are all on different streaming services. So you just head over to your favorite streaming services, search for Cruising the Waves podcast, and you will find us there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel to get the content when it first comes out. Thank you so much again, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.